Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today, it's going to be yet another requested Artosis replay. It's going to be ShowPolicy versus Artosis here on Polypoid. Bottom right, we got ourselves our Blue Terran player. It is Artosis. You may have heard of him. And in the bottom left, we've got ShowPolicy, an unknown Protoss player. So we've got red versus blue here on Polypoid. YouTube subscriber of mine, the Fair Angel, said, "Hey Falcon Paladin, Artosis just did a great 40-minute TVP against a player named ShowPolicy. I think it'd be a great game to cast." So I said, okay, thank you for the recommendation. I hit up Artosis. He said, yes, go ahead and cast the replay. And since he was so nice, and he always is, go ahead and check him out in the links in the description. We've got a Twitch channel and a YouTube channel. So if you don't feel like going to Twitch, he's here on YouTube as well. Aight. So a PVT. Pretty much Artosis' most hated matchup, I feel like. I pretty much get that feeling from watching his streams sometimes and watching his YouTube videos. So, and that's the meme, right? Artosis hates Protoss. Whew. Supply depot placement. Professionally done. And nobody scouting, nobody proxying here on this giant 4-player map. Barracks coming up at 12 supply. Gateway coming up at 12 supply. Oh, no, it's a Nexus first from ShowPolicy. Terran can punish this. We have seen it on this channel. And in other games you have seen on other places, right? If you scout it, throw up a bunker, march Marines across the map, and it is very, very hard for the Protoss to not lose their Nexus when that happens. Oh, scouting the right direction. Artosis is going to punish this. I know he is. Ooh, so Gateway coming up, but not in time to save the Nexus. Come on, Artosis. Come on. Wait, did you... Wait! Come back! No, you have to... Did he not... What? Did he get close enough to see this? Dude, no! No! He didn't see it. What did he? Artosis' friend, brother in StarCraft. What happened there? How? I really think it got about here and then was like, nah, no Protoss here. Did it go scout the top left now? What was happening? Okay, an inauspicious opening for Artosis here. I don't. Dude, the Fair Angel, if you're watching this, you watch this game live on Artosis' stream. I need you to tell me what happened. He has to, at this point in the game, he has to be like, ah, crap. I messed up. There was Protoss down here and I missed it. How? How did this happen? Oh, he's getting away with a Nexus first play. Artosis is in all of the trouble. He's in all of the trouble right now. He's playing so defensively against something that doesn't really need to be super defended against. I mean, there's 2 Zealots coming across right now, but, I mean, Vultures are out, so it doesn't really matter, right? So this probe is dead, and these Zealots are dead because they don't have speed, and the Vulture can just carelessly and just easily kite them around. I mean, this is... Yeah. So now the SCV comes back around and says, oh. That was definitely a Nexus first timing. I'm going to attack the Cybernetics core with all the rage in my heart. Die! Die, Cybernetics core! Oh, Kakaru saw the whole thing. Kakaru's like, Kakaru! Kakaru! So here's a bunker up now, so the Dragoons are going to be like, no, this is not happening, and you're not getting Singularity Charge for a while. Because you didn't go for it fast, you went for a Nexus first instead. It slows you down on that tech. You made your choice, now deal with it. Spider Mine research coming in from our Terran Artosis. Vulture can't really get in there because there's Dragoons now. If it was just Zealots, he'd just kind of like pow, pow, pow. kill the zealots, and then run right on in. But Dragoons change the whole relationship here. Robotics facility coming in. All right. I mean, not too crazy, right? You want to be able to see those spider mines. And if you can't see the spider mines, you're pretty much just a dead Protoss anyway. So, fair enough. Armory on the way from Artosis. Second factory finishing up. Going Vulture speed 2. Vultures in the early game. Really important. Like, preventing your opponent from getting a third base fast with Vultures, or getting in there just maybe killing some probes is not a bad idea. But beautiful placement here with this Dragoon. Like, nah, you're not getting through here, but this Spider Mine says we are getting through here. Oh, nice target fire there. Beautiful micro, honestly. So the Vulture comes up and says, aha, you were trying to make me think there was a base here, but there's not. Could have come back around the other way, too. There are 2 ramps into this base, but whatevs. Hikaru flying over, sees the robotics facility coming in. Quick observatory. Gotta be the play next from ShowPolicy. His APM around 250. He's playing well. Artosis playing under his BSL15 username. BSL15 the Tosis. Which is not Tastosis. Because I feel like Tastosis and Artosis are kind of the Tosis, right? Is that accurate? Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just being crazy here. Anyway, oh my goodness. We're going for Charon boosters before getting siege mode? This is an interesting build of Artosis's. Ah, Probes tries to get a third base going. No, says the Vulture. Absolutely not. We've got a little Spider Mine contain set up. You're getting a third base when I say you can get a third base, says Artosis, which is never. He's making... What is this build? Why are we not getting any siege tanks? Why are these Goliaths? Okay. All right. Yeah, that Dragoon's dead. Oh, but the splash damage from the Spider Mine causes problems, and 2 of the Vultures die too. At least there's more Vultures here to deny this third base. I mean, this denial is great. See, Observatory or Observer already out. Observatory there. Support Bay coming in. Go over some of those sneaky deaky Reaver drops. That's where there's Spider Mines in this location. In case a Reaver drops here, it gets Spider Mined to death. And there's your siege mode. Okay, so siege mode after Charon boost. Tank production is now happening, but really wants to be ready for drops more than anything else, which I think is a smart play. This is probably something Artosis has dealt with a lot, is this really fast, not super fast, I mean it's 2 base, so like 2 base Reaver drop shenanigans, which there we go, Shuttle and a Reaver in production now from ShowPolicy. Third base now coming in after we've got ye old Reavers on the way. Checking to see if there's a 4th base. No. Checking to see if there's a sneaky ninja base that I missed, says Artosis. No, but this is good. Stay active with your Vultures, man. Active with your Vultures is something that Scan will tell you to do for sure in TVP. And RJB will as well. And also Falcon, because I'm just repeating what those smart people say. Starport coming in. Largely just going to be for science vessels with EMP, defensive matrix, stuff like that. And our Shuttle Reaver is here. Gonna load up with some Zealots. There's some room in the shuttle for that, so might as well bring those boys along. I don't know. I think Artosis is looking really strong right now. Right? He's got Spider Mines out. He's got Goliaths here to deal with any of these shuttles that show up. Got missile turrets back here behind the mineral line at the natural base too. And is this going to be a drop attempt, or is this going to be a attack at the front with Reavers and Dragoon support all at the same time? Tank positioning makes it a little bit hard to do that. But yeah, tanks inside the main base in case that's where they come. I mean, just kind of anti-airing himself here quite nicely as a science facility comes in, even making a Wraith to deal with this drop. This is... He really does not want to get Reaver dropped today, and I can appreciate that sentiment. Nobody likes getting Reaver dropped. Why would you invite a Reaver drop? Are you a crazy person? Maybe you are. Temple Archives in production here. So storm drops are usually what that's going to be for. Maybe some DTs too. Maybe just regular High Templar as part of your composition, just to storm those tanks and vultures and stuff. Pretty effective for sure. And the shuttle is just kind of, I don't, like, I guess scouting, checking for Ow. Killing a Viking. Killing a vulture for sure, yes. So nobody's really interested in committing anything today, right? We've kind of poked around the edges. There was a delay on the third base for a little bit. There are some skirmishes here and there, but nobody's gone for an attack. And as I always say, oh, double command center. What you want to be doing as Protoss is keep that tank count low. Come on in. Take him down with Dragoons. Drop on him with Reavers. Try to kill them that way. But I think this is pretty well protected. A third base from Artosis we really start needing around this time. This is a pretty solid position for that. Down here at the 6 o'clock, but okay, Reaver getting what damage is necessary. Or what damage is available, I guess is the better word for that one, right? Just going after the missile turret. Anything else is fairly well protected by siege tanks, especially this one now, which the observer totally sees. And does see the double command center here too, so anticipates a double expansion attempt from the Terran. Might want to take a fourth base, probably up this way, if you're into that. And third base, I really feel like this is probably the best bet. This is a little bit far away. I guess this one right here. Yeah, this base is also equally viable. I don't know. Ah, built a turret right under an observer. That's a good way to take it down. Almost killed that guy. And there's your fourth base high ground. Minerals only expansion, which I tend to gravitate away from those. I really don't like taking minerals only expansions, but I'm a Zerg player. And having minerals only expansions is not as good. I mean, you have a mineral dump in the form of Zerglings, but you really want that gas. More, I think, than the Protoss and the Terrans do. But double, okay. Okay, that shuttle just dies. This one manages to get in, and the Reavers here does kill a bunch of SCVs. He gets another shot off. No! Does not get another shot off. Some SCVs die, knock us down to 51 workers to 60 probes. And still didn't kill any siege tanks, though. That's kind of the issue here. Nexus. We already talked about this fourth base. Exciting stuff. Celoleg's getting researched, working on upgrades for his mech stuff. And minerals only third base has been taken now from Artosis. So 3 bases better than 2. Right? What we used to see from Artosis years ago is him staying on 2 bases and trying to kill Protoss and not really effectively doing that. Getting a third base makes you eminently stronger and much more able to take down somebody like ShowPolicy here with his 220 APM. Who's playing very well, by the way. Like, he's got all the tech that he needs right now. Probably should be getting into Arbiter tech soon based on this fourth base that he tapped up. I mean, if he doesn't believe in Arbiters, he should. Stasising 4 or 5 siege tanks and reducing that count from, 10 to 6 is amazing. It's amazingly good. Ooh, yeah. And then expanding down here to the 6 o'clock, which I wanted him to take. So, Artosis, well done. Way to listen to the guy who is not nearly as good at StarCraft as you are. Top left. Maybe you might as well take this sucker too if your ShowPolicy is defending it with cannons in case vultures come by, which they will. I feel like eventually they will. Vultures will start roaming around that top side of the map trying to see what's going on. And yeah, recognizing this base is coming up because of the observer, we're going to send an attack force of zealots in here. So I don't think this is going to work, man. The zealots come through not without their dragoon buddies. They kind of get obliterated on this right side. The left side is going better. The storm's coming up, helping with that, and this is going to delay the fourth base of Artosis. Pretty annoying stuff. Zealots are so tanky. Gotta bring more vultures into. These guys are just wandering into spider mines, huh? Okay, just wandering into spider mines today. Not exactly what you want to do if you're a zealot, but sometimes clearing them out is not bad. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, science vessel production is here. Canary Amulet on the way from the Protoss. And like I said, that vulture attack heading up to the top. Gonna see what's up at 3 cannons. 4 cannons is pretty strong if you're trying to dissuade this style of vulture attack. That said, man, this is a lot of vultures, and they have +2 attack. The Dragoons have +1, but okay, cannon's looking good. Dragoon there to assist, only 1, but in conjunction with 4 cannons, that's gonna be fairly solid stuff. Vultures decide not to suicide in there, and they're gonna go ahead and pull back. So tanks produced all the time. 161 to 146 total supply here. Top left base has been taken. Protoss expanding as he needs to do to win this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total bases for him now. Expanding at the 12 o'clock would be good, but Artosis is ready for that as well. Good setup there. Still trying to deny this location. Oh, did he just accidentally target fire his own science vessel? That might have happened, actually. Okay, another one's here, though. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, the storm at the top of the ramp. The siege tank count is nuts. Do not come up this ramp. Do not be here. It's a bad idea. Ow, Dragoon down. Oh, Goliath sniped the shuttle as it retreats. And this High Templar with 7 kills is going to get summarily executed. Never mind. No, he will. He gets hunted down and killed after he thought he had escaped temporarily there. What are you? Oh, are you stuck? Stuck Dragoon. Ha ha. Gotta kill his own gateway to get out. That's always very annoying for Protoss. You want that gateway for production purposes, but if it just blocks your units in, then what good is it? Okay, this command center probably needs to come over here now. I feel like the tank count should be high enough to defend. And a 4-basing Artosis is pretty darn scary stuff for ShowPolicy. And again, him without Arbiters either. He is not teching to Arbiters today, not by any stretch of the imagination. Meanwhile, Artosis has all the pieces that he needs. He's got science vessels, he's got siege tanks, he's got vultures, and he's got Goliaths. Yeah, I mean, everything's here. And once... it's just tough when a bunch of siege tanks siege up. He's actually not sieging half of them. I like that choice. It really helps you with the Zealots if your tanks aren't all sieged. But man, the Zealots are so tanky. But then, yeah, there you go. That High Templar goes down, bruises up a few of these siege tanks. But I think this third base, or this whatever this base is, I think this was the third base of ShowPolicy. Is in a lot of trouble. Nice snipe on the High Templar. Oh! Oh, this is gorgeous. This is like a Zerg player controlling Mutas to snipe High Templar too. High Templar count not healthy. Dragoon's coming down from the south. Can he save this base? It's very touch and go right now. He's going to evacuate the probes as a precaution, just in case it does end up falling. In case vultures try to sneak on in there. But you know, reinforcements are not really coming through. For ShowPolicy and for Artosis, they definitely are. There we go. More tanks from the top side of the map, trying to flank from 2 sides at once, which is how you want to do this against Matt. Coming in from the same direction just means all the tanks are firing on the same groups of units and they all die. If you're coming north and from another direction or a 360 surround, ideally the tanks get confused. They can't just fire on the same targets, you know. It's good stuff. So Artosis, very nicely done. The best way, what is it? The best defense is a good offense. So he's keeping his 4th base alive by putting ShowPolicy on his back foot. It's gorgeous. Is he going to go ahead and take down this bottom left? We've seen that a lot of times where Protoss lose their main base, but kind of set up a home away from home. Additional production facilities, replacement tech structures. Oh, Spider Mine's getting hits in that top left too. And then the Terran just crushing it, man. Yeah, 145 to 146 supply. Being on even supply against a Terran when you're a Protoss is not a good feeling. Not that you know how much supply the Terran has here, right? If you look at his vision, I mean, I guess pretty good. I like that observer positioning a lot, actually. And this one, too. So he's not completely in the dark. He knows what he's dealing with. Spider Mines. Like, is there anything new that he's dealing with here? No, not really. Not so much. He's going to try to do a sneak around attack here, but he did bring an observer. So he has to slow down to kill the Spider Minefield, which gives Artosis time to set up a defense, which is the point of the Spider Minefield, is maybe it's not going to wipe out an entire attacking army, but what it will do is let you know that one is coming, guaranteed, and then coming up that ramp is just too scary for ShowPolicy. He's out. Trying to naked expand top right here is Artosis, which feels pretty dangerous because these Dragoons are sharking around. We'll see. I really don't think there's much of a chance at all that he hangs on to this. I mean, this is ShowPolicy heading up here. Kind of blind, actually. But, oh, at the same time, ShowPolicy losing his left side 9 o'clock base. So that's 2 bases in fairly quick succession that he's losing. Artosis loses his attempt at a naked expand, which is very anger-inducing, but you know, that's the risk when you go for one of those bases. Bad times for sure. I mean, not for sure, but if it does happen, it's a bad time and you feel horrible about it. Yeah, man. So losing 2 Nexuses in pretty quick succession here to these 3 attack, 2 armor tanks is not great for ShowPolicy. Not at all. 3-2 upgrades. The gateway units here are at +2 attack, with no other upgrades coming in, which is fairly standard for Protoss. It's not weird that we don't have any additional upgrades that way. Ah, High Templar, why are you wandering out here? Okay, ShowPolicy just donated 4 High Templar to the Terran army for absolutely no reason at all. I don't know what that was. That was one of the more confusing mistakes. He was trying to storm this group, I assume, but like wandering up on your own, it's just inviting yourself to get murderized. ShowPolicy trying to engage in the middle of the map here, but nice positioning from the Artosis. He's not even sieging up his tanks, which can be a sign of disrespect, but also good if your enemy army especially is heavier on Zealots than on Dragoons. It's a really good idea. Also, ShowPolicy was going for a top right expand, but then there's Vultures here, so that's not going to happen. And this time, we're not expanding naked. This time, we're taking that top right with some Vultures on support. Which, I mean, if 10 Dragoons show up, it doesn't really matter as much. Trying to break out is ShowPolicy. Let's go. Zealots crumbing through Dragon Spider Mines and his enemy siege tanks. They do clear out some of the units with this contain, but not all of them, and reinforcements are coming in. So I think Artosis has a pretty good handle on this game. I mean, ShowPolicy still has 176 supply. He is not rebuilding his tech in the top left, but he has a ton of production up there, which is very useful indeed, especially if these gateways die for some unknown reason. What if Artosis is trying to split and kill both at the same time, which would be game-winning? But by splitting, it doesn't quite have the 30 siege tanks in one place that is really scary for Protoss to deal with. The storms are extremely well placed, and that is a dead Terran army for sure. ShowPolicy is like crushing it. Crushed through. This is not all of the siege tanks, and really neither of these armies have an all of the siege tank set up. And this is kind of the problem. This is why we see better players like Last and Light and Flash just bring everything, just wipe this bottom left corner out, and then head up and wipe this corner out. And then the Protoss is very sad, right? I don't know that this divide and conquer strategy, well, it didn't work, right? We know it didn't. Did it have a good chance of working? Maybe. Maybe if ShowPolicy's macro isn't as good as it is, sure. But ShowPolicy's macro is kind of insane. I mean, that said, he's floating 2,000 minerals and 2,000 gas. He needs to throw up more units, and he's kind of working on that here. Does he have... Gateways are firing. It's just hard. It's hard to macro. None of these guys are... You know, this isn't Shuttle. This isn't Last. This isn't Light. This isn't Rush. Oh, is that a... He evacuates? But then does he have to evacuate? I don't know. The Protoss army kind of, like, didn't engage there. But Artosis running anyway. Smart thing to do. Because they could have. I'm not sure that 2 siege tanks on the high ground are going to be enough to stop this. Trying to throw spider mines down directly on top of the Dragoons, a tale as old as time here. But firing again onto high ground siege tanks with Dragoons is not ideal either. So not something you want to do. Defensive Matrix Goliath is actually buying quite a bit of time. The repair was nice too. Loses that kind. Are we still containing? We're still containing here. No real battles happening. And, oh, round of Zealots shows up. SCV body blocking, but not quite good enough. The Zealots run right past our SCV friend. The tanks are now dead. That's much, much, much better. If you're trying to kill stuff on the high ground, it's just running Zealots up there. Thank you for asking. Got our little Banglass here, just spinning around so much. It probably is not healthy mentally, if that's what's happening here. I really worry about it. And Artosis' attempt at taking the top right do not happen again. And his attempt at taking this 3 o'clock temporarily stymied until he gets it back now. And he hasn't killed this bottom left either. Yeah, Artosis needs a decisive victory here. And I don't think... He hasn't had one for a bit, right? I mean, he crushed this base and this base. So, yes, great. But since then, what has he done? And as they always say, what have you done for me lately? And so far, the answer is not a lot. I mean, he's really trying to push this top left, but his tank count is 2. He's got a third one not engaging in the battle right now, which is super annoying stuff. It's largely Vultures. Maybe in preparation for dealing with the fact that his enemy is making so many Zealots. Like, both of his armies are largely Zealots right now. They have +3 attacks, still not working on any armor upgrades at all, which honestly, ShowPolicy could afford to do. He's a little bit starved on gas. He only has 300 gas here, but he could throw up a +1 armor. I don't think having 3 armor is going to be a problem. It would probably help. But hey, this 12 o'clock base of ShowPolicy, guess who found it? 2 siege tanks and a ton of vultures. Oh yeah, that is the ideal Nexus busting combination. It's really good, honestly. 2 tanks will take a while to take the Nexus down, but hey, when they have +3, it's not that bad. Oh, Zealots running into the 3 o'clock base of Artosis. They're going to try to focus. Some of them are trying to kill the command center, but that can lift off. So kill SCVs, man. Also, this contain is the longest Terran versus Protoss contain I may have ever seen on the channel. I mean, that's not true. I've cast a ton of TVP, but man, look at this. You just can't get anything out of here. Not that there's much going on. All the production is happening up here in the top left, which is smart. Vulture Hit Squad is trying to clean up the Zealot Harassment Squad. Guess they're both squads. Going pretty well. Zealot threat has been removed. Quick reminder to hit that like button if you're enjoying the cast. Hit that subscribe button too. So I'm here 5 times a week with Brood War content and the remastered client. I cast a 2001 match last week with OSL champion Gur, the Canadian player. It's really interesting to see how far the game has come from 2001, man. The level of play is so much better. Like Artosis now, his level of play, nice EMP. He'd win OSLs if he went back in time to 2001. He'd absolutely win OSLs. He'd crush OSLs. That's how, like, we've come so far in this. So really trying to break this top left. Artosis has been trying it for the last 10 minutes and is just not succeeding. There's too much production here from ShowPolicy, and he's just absolutely kicking butt, taking names. Artosis is not, he's not committing enough to it, I think. My amateur opinion, as someone who has never won money playing StarCraft in his entire life, is Vultures. Everything does full damage versus shields, and that's all that Archons are. Come back, command center. There you go. So yeah, I'm going to say it again and then maybe shut up about it, but Artosis is bringing these tanks with him the next time he heads top left to wipe this stuff out would be great, because there's no income happening here. And the value that would be here is killing these tech structures, but it doesn't matter that much. So just coming up and killing these 2 sources of income and then killing this one would just be game winning at this stage. So I don't think the contain has as much value for him as he hopes it does, but I have advantage of full map vision, and I'm not trying to play the game and analyze it at the same time. So I get it. And I could just be wrong. Like, maybe the value of this contain is way higher than I think it is. And keeping these tanks here is the thing that Flash would do, but as someone who's cast a bunch of Flash games, there's a Flash playlist on the channel, actually, I don't think he would. I've never seen him do anything like this before. So 12 o'clock base getting reestablished here by ShowPolicy. Got some spider mines in the mix, but they're not going to activate on probes because they made the decision that spider mines would not activate on workers, because holy crap, that'd be too good. And then StarCraft 2 was like, Widow mines activate on workers, no problem. And so StarCraft 2 players figured it out. So interesting, building upon the corpse of this third base of ShowPolicy is Artosis. And might as well, he's been here for long enough. He's got homesteading rights now. Like, he's common law married to this base. He's been living with them for so long. 178 to 150 supply. ShowPolicy is up. He's up. He is strong. We're finally getting Arbiter tech, everyone. How much better would ShowPolicy be here? How much better off would he be if we had stasises available, right? And recalls available. And okay, or just, man, ShowPolicy's really just going for it most often today. And he's doing it well. This, the storm positioning is just impressive. He absolutely crushes that. Getting up this ramp where there's 4 siege tanks firing. Difficult, but not as hard as if there were, like, I don't know, 8 siege tanks up here. He decides not to try it anyway. He's out of zealots regardless, so he's going to back on out. Smart play. Dragoon pathing up ramps is bad. And so them derping around and bumping into each other, trying to come up this ramp when there's siege tanks back here is just new. New thank you. Top right base getting retaken by ShowPolicy. He's really trying to make that happen. This has been the most hotly contested base of the day. Both players are interested in having it. Oh, we're irradiating zealots. Okay. I mean, sure, it's energy. It's free kills, I guess, from a certain perspective. But irradiating High Templar is usually the target of the science vessel. Okay, now we have a huge round of zealots. Now we go. Not a command, not a moving, right? Move commanding in between so everybody gets up here and then attacking. Beautiful. What are you doing? Are you seriously trying to evac? Oh, okay, going down. Why are you going up that way? Why not evacuate this direction? Another attempt to expand on this high ground from ShowPolicy. No, that's not allowed. Why are there zealots? Where are they trying to go, and why are they sitting in tank range? Okay, that's very strange. I think maybe he's got one rallied down here, but they can't because there's units on the ramp. I'll bet that's what it is. Bad rally. Fix the rally. Excuse me. Still a little congested from when I was sick last week, which you probably heard. Anyway, as you can tell, voice is back, feeling fine. Just a little bit of congestion that's sticking around, because heaven forbid I be at 100% health. I eat vegetables. I exercise. I drink milk and take a multivitamin. I try to be healthy. I drink Coke Zero instead of, like, full sugar Coke. Probably get cancer from it, but I'm not going to, like, get diabetes, I guess, is the whole better thing. Okay, a High Templar just died to this bad rally. Dude, ShowPolicy. Another one died. ShowPolicy, no. Stop doing that. He's gotta, it's just gotta be a rally. Dude, this siege tank just casually has 10 kills. I'm gonna try to wander down here. I mean, sure, might as well, but like, zealot bombing. Oh, nice defensive matrix. Shuttle goes down, and the zealots get obliterated there. Siege tank, fine. You don't have to repair that, buddy. He's at 100% health. But ShowPolicy, strong. Top right, taken. 12 o'clock, taken. Third base location for the top left spawn, taken. Got a ton of money. 169 supply. Okay. That last base I mentioned, no. Not happening. I mean, that is just... well, saving it. Yeah, Dragoons do manage to save it. They're pretty fast. Little random Zealot High Templar army in the middle of the map here. Nobody really engaging with them either. And Artosis, you know, I kind of feel like this is a live and let live scenario. He's sending vultures around, but he's not really trying to commit to any major attacks in the top left here, which is just allowing ShowPolicy to get all of the value he needs out of these top bases, and he does. The minerals are gone. These simulators are still really good sources of gas, so keep that in mind. Is there more? He's irradiating more zealots, I feel like. That's what this science vessel's up to. 7 kills on him. He's a cyborg, though, right? It's like not a... is he a robot? It's a robot. Is a human augmented with robot parts. Which makes him a cyborg. I think that's... I don't know, man. What's the line? That's something that Cyberpunk actually goes into, the D&D setting. Which I don't know a lot about it, but I kind of looked into it when Cyberpunk 2077 came out because I put a ton of hours into that. And apparently there's a part where if you're augmenting your body with like a robotic arm and robotic eyes and robotic legs. So in the, you know, in the fantasy world of Cyberpunk, there's a point you can reach where your body is so robot that you die. And like there's not a medical explanation for it. It's not like... and then it caused terrible heart failure, or your brain couldn't process it and you died. You just die. It's like this mystical thing. I like it as a concept of like you pushing the boundaries between what is robot and what is artificial and what is human. You just take one step too far and you're dead. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty dark. I like it a lot. Not that I play any Dark Dungeons and Dragons, but I'm intrigued with settings and world builds more than anything else, and that's a pretty good one. Anyway, what's happening here? Not a whole lot. Oh, never mind. Artosis is setting up. Yes. Yes. Kill the top right. Kill the newest sources of income for your opponent. And ShowPolicy's not defending it. Good irradiates on these High Templar, by the way. Oh, this is great. Oh, 3 High Templar die at once. Another one follows, and the High Templar are dead, and ShowPolicy is like, hey, oh, Science Vessel pays for it. Pays the ultimate price. But the High Templar are just getting, removed. Oh, no, 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 no. Bad micro there. It happens. It happens. StarCraft is a really hard game. Oh, snipes an observer. Okay, that was sick play. He makes up for it by sniping the obs. And ShowPolicy is like, hey, get back here. Just absolutely mashing his face into the teeth of Artosis' army in the top right here. Doesn't have enough to beat it this time. But if the tanks unsiege, they might jump on it, which I would support. 10 zealots at a time in production. Tanks and vultures here too. No real sign of a carrier transition from ShowPolicy. He doesn't have much of the money for it anyway. And shoot, we don't have a ton of carrier games on the channel recently anyway. Protoss are sort of like, ground it is. And I can support it. If you play it right, you keep the tank count low, etc., you're going to have a good time. But yeah, this irradiating of interesting zealots. He just wants to keep the zealot count low. The Dragoons aren't as much of a problem for him. It's the zealots that he's hating at the moment. So Arbiter's finally joining the party. I'm not sure if they've been out on the field yet. But ShowPolicy retaking this third base expansion of the top left spawn. I don't know what else to call it here. It's a left side mineral only base. Left top side, sure. Sure, that's what it is. But tanks very slow pushing their way to kill this top right, which would be a big time step towards winning this game. Oh, he finally got a recall. Hey, first recall of the game, 36 minutes in, really effective. Removes the 3 o'clock base of Artosis. Just absolutely destroys it. The Arbiter died to these turrets, though, I think. Yep, that happened. And Artosis is now more encouraged to kill this top right base than before. A couple storms happen. High Templar do get sniped. Good snipe there, too, man. The Vulture control has been excellent for Artosis today. Siege tanks siege up. Spider Mines getting laid down. You can't forget any piece of this. You need Spider Mines. You need siege tanks. You need the Vultures to be alive, too. The Arbiter comes in, and the Goliath... Oh, recall's right on top of... Nice! Beautiful recall. I thought I was going to stasis, but nah. Just recalling on top of the army on the high ground and helping to get rid of them entirely. All right, that was a pretty hot stop there from ShowPolicy. He's down 196 to 170 supply. But he's pushing. Oh, sniping that command center would not be a terrible thing, but it's a little too protected by siege tanks there. That's not going to happen for him at all. No Dragoons. No, don't come down the ramp. Okay, that's just got to be a hotkey problem or a bad rally or something, because that was ShowPolicy donating a few Dragoons to the Terran charity fund of Kill All Protoss. Alright, so now the top right base is dead. There are no Arbiters to save it. The tanks are back. The boys are back in town. All these probes are going to die, and suddenly it's just kind of a two-base economy here for ShowPolicy. Not that Artosis is killing it himself, right? He doesn't have any income currently. He lost the 3 o'clock, never reestablished it. He is expanding to this natural of the top right spawn, though, so that's real good for him. Another huge recall from ShowPolicy, though. Recalls right into the natural base. There is not much here to defend other than a few spider mines, which, can you call that defending all that much? This is nuts. Has to bring some of the army down, if not the vast majority of the army down, to save all of his production, because he doesn't want to rebuild all these factories. That would be super annoying to him. Like, a stasis on the ramp would be hot, but that Arbiter got EMP'd, so that's not happening. Yeah, a stasis on the ramp when the Protoss is inside your house killing all your stuff is amazingly good. But Artosis is going to clean this up, but at what cost, man? He is losing so many Vultures here. But all the Dragoons get cleaned up, so the cost was right. 171 to 135 supply. ShowPolicy's income not super healthy. Artosis, again, not killing it. He has 100 minerals, but he is mining from a new base, which is something ShowPolicy doesn't have a lot of. Zealot count heavy. This is why he's been irradiating zealots, why he continues to irradiate Zealots, defensive matrix a couple of these siege tanks too. And the tanks are all dead, and suddenly, dude, Artosis has newest source of income. Is in a lot of trouble. The army has to come all the way from the bottom right spawn location up to the top right to try to crush this. Zealot's doing very good. Tank down, but still 3 sea tanks on the high ground. Still getting big time shots off with that +3 attack. 1 tank dies, but that's going to be it. The remaining siege tanks there. More siege tanks arriving. It's not a huge army from Artosis right now, but it is bigger than what we're seeing from ShowPolicy. So this contain is the eternal contain of the Spotless Mind. I mean, this is... honestly, look at this. Look at this contain. It's been here forever. Absolutely insane. Observer checks to make sure that Artosis has retaken his 3 o'clock, because of course he has. The positioning on the map indicates that, yes, of course he did. So he's like, well, it's going to be an easier base for us to assault than this top right stuff Artosis has going on. Which is true. It would be. But he gets sniffed out. He's trying to maybe shark around this. Stop getting distracted by spider mines. Get in here and kill this. What are you doing? Okay. They're just going to go up the northern entrance. Thanks for asking, though. High Templar sniping. Great target firing. Dude, the vulture control of Artosis in this game has been phenomenal. That said, he's got 1 million zealots on top of this 3 o'clock base, and it's the worst time in the world. Oh, just, okay, I don't mean, you didn't need to storm him, but all right. Injury to insult there, or insult to injury, whichever one came first, I don't know. Bam, command center down. Counterattack. Artosis. Trying to kill, I guess the 12 o'clock base does exist at this point from ShowPolicy, so he's doing all right, man, but you're going to kill this base for the 2nd time. This mineral's only expansion, top right corner. But Artosis expanding to the top right. He's got the top right spawn location, and it's natural. Probes getting massacred, not en masse. En masse. Down to 30 probes here at 42 minutes. Cannot feel all that good. Dragoons try to come in. If they can kill these siege tanks, no. They're not going to be able to do it. The spider mine connections are too good, but oh no, the reinforcements. Are we making good trades is the question for ShowPolicy. He doesn't have a lot of money to rebuild stuff at this point. Neither does Artosis, though. Okay, but he wins it, but has to rebuild the Nexus and just doesn't have the money for that. He's got something like 7 probes up here. 9 probes up here, mining minerals at the 12 o'clock position. That's all he's got rolling for him right now. Zealot's checking to make sure this base hasn't been taken. Just kind of scouting more than anything else. Zealot wins that battle, even with the SCD repairing the vulture. So, stalemating a little bit in that situation. Making sure, again, this is a base hasn't been taken. It got murdered, and then I don't think anyone has owned it since then. That happened before the Great Contain of 2022, which is still sitting here, by the way. Like, I don't know if it's... I really don't think this is serving a purpose at all. I think Artosis unsieging these tanks and bringing these vultures up to go for an assault here or here would be much better than whatever value they're giving him in this location. I honestly feel that way. Artosis is taking his 3 o'clock base for the 3rd time today, if not the 4th time today. 84 to 125 supply. When Terran's up that much supply on a Protoss, it's just not a good feeling. A lot of that is SCVs, in fairness. So that's not a ton of army value that he's ahead, but... And again, if we're counting these 4 tanks and 4 vultures, just not enough. Another High Templar dying to the vulture hit squad. Recall attempt. Get EMP'd? No! Alright, so just Zealots. Oops, all Zealots. What this serial is. Good defensive matrix. And that's your good game. ShowPolicy tries to remove Artosis from the top right. Can't do it. Taps out. Gives the GG, and Artosis is your winner. Beautiful. In 44 minutes and 29 seconds. What a fantastic PBT. This is really, really good back and forth shenanigans. Amazing vulture play. Really solid storms. No stasises, which I think Protoss players are going to be concerned about. Like, I think that's a concern and a critique that they will have of show policy in this game is, dude, you played a really good game, but you got to be stasising some of these tanks. It really makes the ground engagements way more effective if you can pull that off. So yeah, end of the day, it was economy. Show policy recognized, okay, so this base and this base are happening, and he has more workers than I do, and I only have the 12 o'clock, and I only have this, and this is under fire by vultures anyway, so I didn't have a ton of army remaining. One last gasp effort. Recalling a bunch of zealots in here, but defensive matrix up, some spider mines helping, siege tanks doing some work, and this guy, he's dead, but he doesn't know it yet. He's under attack with 12 HP. Not a good place to be, my zealot friend. Also, I don't know. I don't know that armor is incredibly important in PvT. I have seen some professional games where you just get attack and don't worry about the rest of it. But I just don't see how it can't be good at all. Like, it's got to be a little bit good, right? But he was so low econ for a lot of this game, maybe. Maybe it just didn't feel like he could. Didn't feel like he could get there, which is understandable. So anyway, GG. Like, really, really impressive game from Artosis. I've been casting his stuff for, I don't know, a year now, maybe even longer than that, and I really feel like he's improved a lot. So good on him. Again, Vulture Control, just top-notch, pristine stuff. Irradiating High Templar and Zealots is a choice that I haven't seen a ton of, but he won the game, so I can't complain too much. And I bet he was very pleased about this. I'd still like to know what happened when the SCV scouted this bottom left. And he got to about here. Hang on, we got to check that. I don't like to rewind a lot in my games, but for this, I need to know if he can't have seen it, right? He can't possibly have seen that. Okay, so we're going to go Artosis view. La 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 la. My name is Steve the SCV. Coming down to see what's in the bottom left. So he sees the probe. And he just assumes. Wow. He just assumes the probe came from up there. Oh, man. I think Artosis watched this replay, I feel like, and I think he's been kicking himself ever since, right? Wow. He could have easily punished this. He scouted the right direction. He's got Marines. He could have just built a bunker here, forced show policy to cancel it, and then been super ahead. And maybe have won the game right there, right? And show policy, man. Show policy. All right, hang on a second. We're just going to one more check here. I need to see what show policy does. Super fast. Because this is a very particular play, right? He heads north and then comes back down. And that might have just been him being like, oh, the SCV came from the bottom right. I'm going to scout bottom right. So maybe he just read the situation properly. And accidentally threw Artosis right off the scent? Was that a Gosu maneuver or was that entirely by accident? I don't know. All right, we got to speed this all the way to the finish because otherwise the score will be all wrong. But bear with me for a minute. Hit that like button if you enjoyed that one. Really good PvT. Super fun stuff. Man, I think we were just missing, I'm going to say it again, just Arbiter tech, right? More stasis would have been good. More recalls would have been good. We had some nice recalls. Clearly very capable of recalling, just not enough of them. Anywho, blah, 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 blah. Crazy stuff's happening. Artosis shows up to set up the Great Contain of 2022 that never, at 18 minutes, it's here, and it never gets removed. Show policy, I don't think he even really makes a serious attempt at it. Like, look at this. Oh, he does right there. He makes one serious attempt at it at 20 minutes, and then just kind of pokes at it from this point on, right? He tries to storm it. He tries to, like, say, that's where he donates some High Templar with a bad play. I just kind of... Oh, yeah. He's just enjoying hanging out here. He takes the base. Stuff's getting irradiated. This siege tank's firing on dudes. Yeah, it is. It's just bad rally. He's got units coming out of these gateways, trying to come down this ramp, getting blocked, running around aimlessly, and getting in range of this siege tank and just donating themselves to, again, the Terran charity fund of kill all Protoss players. God, what a crazy finish. Such a tiny little thing to hinge on is where Artosis thinks the Protoss is. How many times this space died? I mean, ShowPolicy gave Artosis a great game. Honestly, sick bloodbath back and forth. A ton of units died, and that's it. Tries to go for one last hurrah. Can't quite pull it off. So, end of the day, there 320,000 points from ShowPolicy, 330 for the Artosis. Outproduces the Protoss by about 300 units. 301 to be exact, which is kind of an interesting number, but... And outkilled him, too. So, made more and killed more stuff. That's a good recipe to win. Structures raised 47 to 19 in favor of the Terran. 98,000 points or resources spent by ShowPolicy and 77 spent by Artosis. So got outspent, but this right here is the real number, right? You outproduce your opponent and kill more stuff than they did. Those two numbers, chef's kiss, beautiful stuff. All right, good. So that is going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. You take care of yourself.